my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
She did.
Wait.
Sure did.
A stunning moment here at the end of the president's speech. Nancy Pelosi tearing up what appeared to be a copy of the president's speech.
Wow. And this on the heels of a moment earlier where she seemed to offer her hand for a handshake, and he either didn't see it, he didn't shake her hand in any event. She didn't use the usual flourish in introducing him. It is my high honor and privilege. So when we said that there was a partisan rancor inside this room, we were telling you there certainly is. In fact, 2 members of Congress have tweeted that they walked out during this speech.
And some boycotted, we should know.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the State of the Union 2025. And if you're one of these people who say it's not a State of the Union speech, you can get bent. It is a State of the Union speech. It is why they don't call all of them State of the Union is ridiculous to begin with, but it's especially weird when it's Trump's second term. I don't care if it's non-consecutive. Would they go back and look at the precedent set by Grover Cleveland and say we got to stick to that? No, that's silly. This is a State of the Union address, so we've got the live feed pulled up. I've got Fox News up here. I also got a spare feed from the Daily Wire, so we'll see what happens. I mean, they're not going to be, I understand both of those feeds are just going to be playing it live. Once the speech begins, I will mostly shut up, but when there's applause lines, I might say a word or two just because, transformative use and all that fair use kind of stuff. Got to say something besides. Otherwise, you might just watch at home. What'd be the point? But for a little under 30 minutes left, I think we can just chat for a bit. So welcome, everybody. Hey, Jojo, I see you in Rumble. We got the Rumble chat up. I can say hi to folks if you're watching. Hope you guys are all pumped up for what's going to be a great speech. We'll talk a little bit about what to expect tonight. There's no speech bingo tonight, folks, because I feel like the subtext of we've done debate bingo and speech bingo and all that kind of stuff in the past, but I feel like the subtext of all those is it's because they're so predictable, these events. And I don't think this event's all that predictable. There's been some foreshadowing. Trump says he's going to make some kind of major announcement. We'll see what that might be. I wish it would be that we're going to get out of NATO, but I don't think it's going to be that. But we shall see. It's going to be something. Hey, Patricia, we see you there on Facebook. Looking forward to tonight's speech. Just a couple of things I can pull up on the screen here. This is an article that came in a couple of days ago in Breitbart. Theme of the first Trump 2.0 address to Congress revealed. They're too chicken to call the State of the Union, apparently. But whatever, we're not. President Trump is moving at breakneck speed, yada, yada, yada. Trump's address will feature 4 main sections. Accomplishments from Trump's second term thus far at home and abroad. So a nice recap of the first 6 weeks in office. What the Trump administration has done for the economy. That should be an interesting one. I know I've heard from the Democrat crazies, they're all spazzing out because Trump promised the prices would come down on day 1 and they didn't come down yet. But we'll see what Trump has to say about all this. The president's renewed push for Congress to pass additional funding for border security. That's nice. I don't know if I want to hear this, but I want to know why I'm hearing rumors that Trump is talking about passing a Pelosi budget extension in a couple of weeks. That seems a little strange. I'd like to know if that rumor is actually true, because I distinctively remember when in December, when the House Republicans passed that pile of garbage, they said we have to do this because it'll be great because then it'll come back up again in March when we have the majority. If they can't get a budget reform done now, what's the holdup? So we shall see. We shall see what Trump has to say, if anything, about the budget bill coming up. And then the president's plans for peace around the globe. Ooh, that could be a lot of things. Let's see. Richard Head says, hopefully Trump announces we are leaving NATO and letting Europe take care of itself. Fingers crossed. I don't think it's likely he'll say we're going to get out of NATO altogether. But it would be cool if he does try some kind of alpha move on Zelensky at this event. You know, one thing I've been thinking, we did a lot of talking on Sunday night about the incredible news conference that Trump had on Friday with Volodymyr, the Lich from Kiev. And as I said, I thought that event was absolutely perfection from President Trump. I will say, though, I've seen some of the interviews that have happened since Sunday with Trump and Vance and other Republicans. One thing I do think is that although I will say Trump and Vance were both absolutely right to call out Zelensky's disrespect, I think given the spin the Democrats are putting in the media, the more important thing to really slam on would have been the fact that Zelensky really proved he was not interested in peace. Like, they really should have moved past the disrespect stuff quickly. Like JD Vance could have said, look, obviously Zelensky was incredibly disrespectful. We all know that. Incredibly disrespectful. But the real issue is he came to that event to prove he was not interested in peace. One thing I didn't mention, here, let me go back to the feed. So just so you guys can see, we're not going to miss anything. One thing, some details we didn't talk about on Sunday, which I might not have been aware of at the time. Apparently, we talked about how vulgar it was for Zelensky to show up in his ninja gear, but apparently the White House specifically told Zelensky to show up in a suit and tie, which makes it even more disrespectful, even more hostile, even more what's the word I'm looking for? Petulant, pugnacious, all those things. In fact, the other thing too, I didn't mention this on Sunday. The disrespect, of course, comes with not wearing a suit and tie to meet with the president and with calling the vice president JD. But beyond, there's something else too, and someone else made this point, is Alexander McCurse, I think, on the Duran made this point. It's not just that he didn't wear a suit and tie, but the fact that it's his battle costume. Trump wanted Zelensky to show up in a suit and tie because that's a civilian uniform, not a military uniform. And Zelensky shows up in his war costume because he's not interested in peace. Like, that'd been a good way to tie together the disrespect to what Zelensky's real intentions were. So anyway, we'll see. I have absolutely full confidence Trump will not disappoint with what he says about his plan for peace. Well, I say that. With Ukraine, I think Trump will not disappoint with his plans for peace in the world. I really, really am afraid of what he might say about the Middle East. And there's been some bad developments in that lately. Apparently, Israel has announced a new blockade on Gaza on Ramadan to make it extra bad. So that's apparently extremely acrimonious, and that is, I think, to take effect like tomorrow or something. So, and I guess the Arab world is like meeting to figure out what they're going to do about this. So, bad things might be on the horizon in Israel and Gaza. So we'll see. And I don't know what Trump is going to say about that. So I guess we'll just have to see what he says. But in the meantime, yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting night. What other things are Trump going to talk about? Okay, so one thing that this article didn't mention, let me look at some other articles too about what the Democrats are up to. But one of the things that article did not mention, and folks in chat, if you've seen anything different, let me know. But one thing that article did not say Trump was going to say anything about, and I wonder if anyone's seen anything that the White House has given to suggest he might talk about this, is the absolute insane constitutional crisis caused by these rogue inferior federal judges. Because this is Trump's big speech this is more than any campaign rally or press conference or anything else Trump is going to do for the next long time. Americans will tune in to hear what he has to say tonight. And this would be the time to really lay out the argument that it is these rogue federal judges who are causing the constitutional crisis. That the American people fired Joe Biden, and he is not entitled to keep his people in charge in the federal bureaucracy. The Constitution gives Trump and Trump alone the executive branch. And by the way, if you might not have heard about this, so Judge Amy Berman Jackson, who not too long ago issued a temporary restraining order, this was the case of the special prosecutor. Trump fired the special prosecutor appointed by Biden to investigate Trump. Trump fired him, as is his right, and he sued Trump in federal court, and Judge Amy Berman Jackson gave a temporary restraining order ordering the Justice Department to rehire him as a special prosecutor, to call him the special prosecutor, to restore his pay, and all the rest of that stuff. Well, now Judge Amy Berman Jackson has made the temporary restraining order a permanent injunction. Well, it would normally be a preliminary injunction, but she already decided the case. She just gave an order and said, case closed. He has to be pending appeal, of course, but I forget what the guy's name is, but the special prosecutor, someone check and remind me who the special prosecutor is. But this guy, Amy Berman Jackson, has ordered the Justice Department up to the Attorney General, stopping short of saying Trump himself, by the way, because clearly the judge knows that is a flagrant overstepping into the executive branch. Now, why in the world enjoining the Justice Department, the Office of Personnel Management, because she named him in the judgment as well, Russ Vought. All these people are enjoined from stopping this rogue prosecutor from showing up and issuing orders that are contrary to the orders President Trump himself issues. So the judge stopped short of actually saying Trump himself. So that might be a loophole. Trump could just say, no, I am firing the special prosecutor. But anyway, tonight is the night when Trump should be laying this out, in my humble opinion. Obviously the Democrats are going to push back on that, but hey, the Democrat who's going to give the rebuttal is Alyssa Slotkin, who doesn't understand any of this stuff. She's a complete moron. So this would be the time to do it. But I don't know. We shall see. The argument against this is that Trump doesn't want to bring up this point of contention because the Democrats will go hard on that. They're going to say Trump is trying to seize power. It's a coup and blah, 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 blah. But speaking of that, I was listening to Judge Napolitano recently, and he had a guest on the other day who was making a big stink about the fact that Trump is firing a lot of high-level officials at the Pentagon, including, what's his name, General C.Q. Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And the guest, I guess, knew this guy personally. He's like, he's completely honorable and blah, blah, blah. And the guy says, don't give me this crap about how it's Trump's administration. He can have whoever he wants. I understand that, but he had no good reason, no legitimate reason to fire this guy. Well, because he's honorable, he's an honorable man. He will respect an order, whether it's the president he agrees with or not. This guy says. I think he was an Air Force admiral or something. This guy who was a guest on the Judge Napolitano show. Anyway, a couple of things to that point. First is C.Q. Brown instituted this hardcore DEI policy at the Air Force. I think the whole military actually, which by itself, that's a policy disagreement. And here's the thing: yes, maybe the guy will honor and obey the president's lawful orders, but here's the thing: Trump doesn't have to abide by that low of a standard. And after a first term of Mark Milley and others intentionally sabotaging him, he has every right to say, I want to take any chances whatsoever. I want a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who will enthusiastically, happily be grateful to have the privilege to enforce my agenda. That's who Trump gets to have. And I was surprised. Larry Johnson, too, former CIA agent who does a lot of great analysis, talking about the war and stuff on various channels, including Judge Napolitano's channel. People have talked to in the military say the President Trump he's purging all these people, and they think the word they're using is the word coup. First off, nobody has the right to accuse President Trump of any sort of coup ever after the multiple coups waged against him, including 2 false impeachments, multiple false indictments, and a failed assassination attempt. Trump was elected president despite all of that, despite having the game rigged against him. The American people overwhelmingly chose him in 2024, beyond even the margin they were able to manipulate the election against him. The only coup that can happen in Trump's administration is against Trump's administration. And he has every right to take every single possible step against that. And the Democrats are going to obviously play these games. They're going to play them tonight, I'm sure, why not smash him on this even harder? I hope he does. We'll see what he does. So yeah, the other thing I was thinking about too, with respect to Trump and people, Democrats are they're playing all these stupid games. Trump, he's not a king, he's not a dictator. Someone else on Judge Napolitano's show more recently was talking about the fact that it was Jeffrey Sachs, the Middle Eastern professor that Trump himself actually retweeted recently, talking about Gaza stuff. He is concerned about how Trump is abusing emergency powers to impose tariffs, which are supposed to be done by Congress. Taxes are supposed to be passed by Congress, not by the executive. And Trump is using the emergency pretext to do that. And he's saying, I don't like that. And as he's saying this, first off, there's a very, very big part of me that says he's right. He's right, because I've heard of executives abusing emergency powers before, and it's really, really dangerous and really, really bad. And we really do have a separation of power system in place for a good reason. And I am a big believer in the shoe on the other foot test. And if it was Joe Biden in power, we would not want him doing executive orders, doing things that Congress wouldn't allow him to do. I'm an older Ron Pauler. The rule of law and doing things the proper way, that's a really big thing for me personally. And yet, I don't give a shit. I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this, like, why am I allowed to just discard my principles over this business with Trump? And I'll tell you why. It's because of the coups. It's because of, here's what I was thinking. Okay, Congress is supposed to be the ones that have the power to do these things, right? But am I wrong are you guys with me on this? That Trump has more legitimacy than members of Congress do, right? Like, you've got congressmen in Michigan, and some of them are Republicans in safe seats who you can never get out, Tim Walberg. And likewise, Democrats who are in safe seats that you can never get rid of, like Debbie Dingell. And you have a Republican majority in the U.S. Senate, and they can't do anything because of the filibuster. Why is the filibuster thing still a thing? Why are Senate Republicans not ending the filibuster when the Democrats have said, we will end the filibuster the moment we take majority? The only opposition they had the last time they had majority was Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, who were gone. And they made dang sure that their replacements, all the new freshman Democrats in the U.S. Senate, have all promised that they are going to end the filibuster. So why haven't the Republicans ended the filibuster? By the way, make them vote on it. Make the Democrats vote no on ending the filibuster, because they've just been saying for the past 8 years they want to end we need to end the filibuster because Republicans are filibustering. Well, now they're in the minority. Okay, we're ending the filibuster. Prove what a hypocrite you are. Make them vote for it. Because guess why the Congress can't pass things like banning DEI permanently? Why they aren't passing, really codifying all the things that Trump has been doing by these orders, including tariffs, including ending the Department of Education, including ending the Real ID rule that Joe Biden put in right before he exited office. These are all things Congress could do, but for the fact that Democrats have 47 seats in the U.S. Senate, which is the minority. Republicans have a 1-seat minority in the Michigan Senate, and yet Democrats get their way on every single thing they want to do. It's amazing. Trump should really actually take this opportunity tonight to start browbeating Congress. How much time we got left? 10 minutes? Okay, my reign will be over. By the way, folks, we might be joined by Patty and Matt tonight. We were all at an event earlier, but they had to finish their event, so they might be coming in later. So we'll see. And for those just tuning in, once the president starts to speak, I will shut up. I'll only talk during the applause lines. We'll probably chat afterwards too, but mostly I'll be quiet. I got my liberal tears vessel that you can get at WashingtonGOPClub.com. By the way, get like my new mic stand. The mic's nice and right in front of my mouth. I sound better, I think. Let me know if it's actually working out. I'm seeing that we're having trouble streaming to X. Might be an issue on X's end, streaming software says. Please check X to ensure the stream looks okay. No, I'm live. Okay, now it says I'm live again. Good. Okay, so Maybe my stream just got interrupted on X. For those watching on X, I apologize. But for those watching on Rumble and YouTube and Facebook, I think everything's okay. So Carl Kirch says, does Zelensky want peace? No. The only peace he wants is Russia's total capitulation. And he's not getting it. So I don't know what Zelensky's end game is here. He's a dead man walking. Does he actually think that we're going to just fight the Russians forever until we're all dead? But he's an egomaniac. He's a lunatic. He's a cokehead. So who knows what he's thinking? Richard Head says, my other hope is Trump announces Manifest Destiny Part 2. We're taking Canada and Greenland. Yeah, he'll probably be a little more subtle about that. I don't think he will be announcing that, but we'll see. Like I said, as long as he doesn't say anything about Canada becoming the 51st state, because that would be wrong. It needs to be a territory. We're not giving them any congressional representation. Nor Greenland. Anyway, it looks like we're almost ready. 10 more minutes. There's JD Vance. I gotta say, if you guys saw the thumbnail I made for this stream, originally I took the photo from the one 5 years ago, which had Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi, and then I crossed off their faces because they're gone. And then I actually ended up superimposing over that kind of cutouts of Vance and Mike Johnson, and it's so much better to see JD Vance behind Trump rather than Mike Pence. Ugh. Although I don't feel at all the same way about Mike Johnson versus Nancy Pelosi. I guess he's like marginally better, but again, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that budget deal coming up, because if Mike Johnson passes an extension of Nancy Pelosi's budgets, that'd be pretty dang embarrassing. So we shall see. Anyway, so we also will see, and I have it on mute for right now because I'm yapping, but we'll see if the Democrats are going to try any monkey business tonight. There was this article. Some Democrats plot to disrupt Trump's speech to Congress. You got a picture of Rashida Tlaib saying war criminal to, not to Trump, that's actually, or even to Biden, but to Benjamin Netanyahu. It makes you wonder, with the Republican-controlled House Speaker, would the House Speaker, the Republican who controls the House, would he allow Democrats to bring in props and garbage like that into this event? Why would they allow John Fetterman to walk into the House chamber dressed like a slob? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, here's the story. Democratic lawmakers are planning a litany of options to protest at President Trump's speech to Congress, including outright disruption. Half dozen House Democrats told Axios. Well, they don't have exclusive claim to that, of course, because of Joe Wilson's outburst in the Obama State of the Union address. But, that didn't look good. It didn't look good for Joe Wilson then. So it's just going to make them look bad. The part we all agree on is that this is not business as usual, and we would like to find a way productively to express our outrage. One House Democrat told Axios, no, it's not business as usual. Speaking of that, going back to my point earlier about Trump and, taking executive actions that kind of stretch the executive branch to its upper boundaries, let's say. I was thinking about something else, too. You know what? I remember a while ago, I forget when it was exactly, but a while back, I just happened to see Milo Yiannopoulos was like trolling on X, and he was talking about how every nation needs a sovereign, and Trump needs to be our king, and we should just do it, just make Trump our king. And obviously, there's constitutional problems with that, and Milo's just joking around, but there is something to be said for the notion that a nation needs to have a sovereign, and our sovereign is not any of these half-wits in Congress. And one of the things that, to me, always stands out at these State of the Union addresses, well, when Biden's there, it's how shameful and disgraceful they all are to our country. But tonight, it's going to be like, here's Trump and Vance. Absolutely, like, just every day of the week doing great things, just being amazing. And then the camera's going to pan over, and you'll see these Congress critters, Democrats and Republicans. We'll probably see John James clapping. That'll be so anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, we're looking at this article about disruptions. What we're hearing, some members have told colleagues they may walk out of the chamber. Good, no one will pay any attention. Who cares? See ya. Over what would be the most that's not reading. Sorry, I lost my place there. Criticism of transgender kids was brought up as a line in the sand that could trigger members to storm out, according to a House Democrat. Oh, I think there's something about that coming. I've heard Trump is bringing in a female student athlete who was injured by a giant, hulking, biological male competing with her. I think Trump's going to hit that issue hard, and I hope he does. I look forward to that. A nice issue where 85% of the American public is with us on that. Yeah, good. I pray Trump gets into that issue and really nails him on this. And I think he will. A wide array of props, including noisemakers, has also been floated. Signs with anti-Trump or anti-Doge messages, like Rashida Tlaib's one in that photo, whatever. Eggs or empty egg cartons to highlight how inflation is driving up the high price of eggs. It's something Trump could work into. Yeah, I know. I was given the highest inflation ever, and we're fixing that at record pace. That'd be hilarious. This one's even better. Pocket constitutions to make the case that Trump has been violating the Constitution by shutting down congressionally authorized agencies. Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you brought up the Constitution, Democrats. That would be Trump's perfect pivot to talk about the abuse of these inferior judges trying to infringe on the will of the American people. That'd be just great. Talking about all these ridiculous federal bureaucrats that need to be fired. Hand clappers like red cards like those held up to express disagreement at town halls and various other problems also been discussed. It's going to be a flop, guys. The Democrats are going to be looking irresolute and just rude and pathetic, and it's going to be hilarious. So I, for one, can't wait. Anyway, looks like we're getting close. Haven't missed much yet. Just double check and make sure the audio is working. Be a good thing to do since we're starting in a few minutes here.
This time around, it is Michigan Democrat
You guys hear the audio
Senator
there?
Alyssa Slotkin.
Oh boy,
We are looking.
it's Alyssa Slotkin. There'll be some smirking, I bet. I think the rebuttal might have some smirking involved. Maybe some of that snotty head nodding kind of stuff Slotkin likes to do. We'll see. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? Uncle Grizz on Rumble says, bet we get a limited Epstein file drop. So there has been news. There has been some news. Apparently, so Pam Bondi has now said, oh, wait. Is it time to go?
Address or State of the Union for continuity of government. All the people in the line of succession are in that chamber.
This is like the
now
first
you're
session.
seeing some of the other dignitaries coming in. These are the diplomatic corps
Members of the
and
Supreme
the
Court.
members of the Supreme Court behind them.
So they're starting the procession, which will end with Trump, of course, coming in. So there we go. So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit more babbling yet. No reason for me to try to talk over Brett Barron and just mute him. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be time, guys. Are you hyped? I'm hyped. This is gonna be great. Number one thing, of course, is as we did with that news conference on Friday. Every Republican patriot has an obligation to be part of that spin room, because you know what we're going to hear from the Democrats. And Trump declared himself a dictator that day, and our democracy is under threat, and blah 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 blah. And as tired and played out as all that garbage is, you know there's going to be still people, trying to play that to the nth degree. I saw on X just today some Democrats saying, "I think it's time. We really need to confront the fact that there's a distinct possibility that Trump is a Russian asset." Like, how do these people even do this stuff with a straight face? I don't know. I don't know how far Trump's going to go with talking about the Russia-Ukraine thing. The problem Trump has is he can't get to the root of it all, the deepest truth about that, which is that we're on the wrong side. The people that started this conflict were the Biden administration and NATO. And actually, even in Trump's first term, he didn't know this, but his own people at the State Department and the Pentagon were arming Ukrainians then too. And he can't mention that. So there is a limit to how much truth they can say about that whole thing. So I'll be very curious to see how Trump handles talking about Zelensky, talking about Ukraine. So you can talk about Zelensky. There's been a dispute in the media, the fake news claiming that Zelensky had the right to cancel elections. Will Trump say, no, they don't? The Ukrainian constitution does not allow that at all. Not for the president. No, he won't. He won't say that. Will he talk about Zelensky banning churches and banning the opposition parties and throwing his opponents in jail? That all the candidates that have been mentioned as possible replacements for Zelensky are either in jail or like pending indictments or in exile like Zelensky. And is that Sebastian Gorka? That pisses me off that Sebastian Gorka is allowed even that near the rostrum. Ugh. Can't believe he's still allowed I can't believe he's even still in the administration. It's a good thing that that Trump's foreign policy advisors are ignoring him. Oh, look, they're wearing pink. They're wearing pink to bemoan the fact that the Supreme Court did not allow the U.S. Constitution to be abused to allow for the murder of children all across America. And look at how many of them there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 20 of them. Wow. Very impressive. That's like the least impressive show the Democrats have put on. Remember a few years ago, they had like a lot of them wearing all white, but that's not happening. Oh, is this is it time? Should I unmute it? Is it time? Let's see.
A live look at the U.S. Capitol.
They're still yammering. All right. John C. King says maybe Slotkin will mention her 3 tours of duty, maybe even ducking bullets. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if Trump should do any kind of pre-buttal talking about the deep state as exemplified by the freshman congresswoman who doesn't represent Michigan but represents the CIA. No, they're not going to do anything like that. Whatever you predict they're going to do, they're not going to do. So I should probably not keep going on with my wishful thinking predictions, but it is what it is. So yeah, what time is it now? 9:01. Okay, so any moment now. No, 9 o'clock according to the clock there. So we'll see. It's any second now. There's Peter Ducey saying something or other. Oh, before I was talking about the Epstein document drop. So Pam Bondi claims they now have recovered thousands of pages of Epstein documents after Kash Patel fired the FBI director in the New York division. So we'll see. We'll see. There is still some hope yet that some hot Epstein docs drop. I hope this time they just post them on the internet rather than, give them to selected conservative influencers like DC Drano. Although in hindsight, I think DC Drano and Mike Cernovich and Libs of TikTok probably all felt embarrassed by what happened the other day when they came to the White House to get these binders of Epstein documents, and they were like nothing new whatsoever. In fact, they had more redactions than the versions that leaked earlier. By the way, I think the Democrat that we just saw on the screen, the one wearing the blue and yellow, is, I forget her name, but I believe she is a Republican congresswoman who's actually herself Ukrainian. And unfortunately, the pro-Zelensky kind of Ukrainian, the Banderat kind of Ukrainian. There's Nancy Pelosi. Looks like she got some fresh Botox for this event. She's got doing that lip thing again. Like, what was the one? It wasn't the oh, geez, look at that. It's hilarious. Look at that 14th Amendment. Yeah, again, these are all opportunities for Republicans. Talk about birthright citizenship. Talk about how nothing in the 14th Amendment made birthright citizenship a thing. The 14th Amendment was for freeing the slaves and giving the freed slave citizenship, not to give children of illegal citizenship. That was invented by Justice Brennan in a non-binding dicta. There has been no Supreme Court decision, no law, nothing that. Oh, there's Melania. Okay, I think I should shut up. I think we're getting to the moment.
What do you think about this moment and that economic issue?
I say that, and as soon as I stop talking and put the unmute it, I get Brett Baer yammering. Let me try my other feed. What is the Daily Wire up to? Oh, they're still yammering too. Maybe I should switch to this feed. This is the Daily Wire's feed here. I think I actually saw Matt Walsh was in the House, like the House of Representatives. Victoria Spartz, that's it. Yeah, born in Ukraine, right? So anyway, when they shut up, I guess that'll be the signal for me to shut up. So that'll work. Anyway, oh, there's Scott Bessent, Marco Root. We're getting there, guys. Oh, this is This is the high level cabinet now. These are the ones who have been laying down the law on Ukraine. So we'll see. Another thing that I forgot to talk about on Friday, talking about this whole Ukraine press conference, is that it's been confirmed that Zelensky had a meeting exclusively with, there's John James, Jesus Christ, coming in after. Is he part of Trump's team now? Is he more senior than Pete Hegseth and RFK Jr. and Scott Bessent? RFK Jr., Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, and then John James. Are you kidding me? Anyway, Zelensky met with Democrats before he met with Trump in the Oval Office, which, besides that, they were the ones that probably told him, no, be really disrespectful. It'll go over well for us. It'll be great. Hey, Patty, on your way home. See you soon. Great. Can't wait to have you join us on the stream. Imagine, because the White House has to know his whereabouts. They have to know that Zelensky, before he's meeting with Trump and Vance, is meeting with the Democrats. Unflippin' believable. It amazes me how much restraint Trump and Vance had in that meeting. The memes we did in the countdown of the show on Sunday night aside, if that was me in the Oval Office, I would have decked Zelensky. I would have killed him with my bare hands. That was just unbelievable levels of disrespect that Zelensky showed Trump. And I don't know how in the world Democrats think that they're going to hide the visual, what you just saw on Friday. I mean, even the snippets taken out of context. He was ambushed. Ambushed how? He was ambushed and then couldn't stop interrupting Trump and Vance. He was ambushed and just suddenly decided to start attacking the president. I mean, obviously there are people whose minds are made up and will never be changed and will always, always, always take the most ridiculous talking points the Democrats will spew out there. But anybody with any independent thinking whatsoever looked at that news conference on Friday and was aghast at what Zelensky did. And Trump couldn't have played it better. And I think the polls will show it too. I think the opinion polls will show. The opinion polls are showing there is not a precipitous decline in support for Trump for all the strong actions he's taken up to this point. American people are with it, guys. They're, and I really think, when you do these opinion polls, and obviously every poll can be cooked, but you look at the polls that they did in Trump's first term. Trump's always down in the polls. He's always down in the polls. Well, okay, but if the Democrats are always disapproving, which they always are, and then there's also some fraction of Republicans who are saying, I disapprove because they wish he was doing more. They wished he didn't appoint John Bolton to be his national security advisor. They wish he didn't appoint Jared Kushner to be his Middle East envoy. Of course, Trump's approval ratings were always going to be negative in his first term. In this term, he is doing so dang good that Republicans love it. And independents do too. And even I think I wouldn't say the neocons, but then again, Lindsey Graham, who was a neocon, if ever there was one. I don't know. Part of me is like, okay, he's definitely just doing an act because he is a neocon. He does want Trump sucked into Ukraine. Or he's been beaten and he knows it, and now he's a chameleon and he's changing his political colors. It could be that too. But the thing is, and this is something people have to appreciate, during Trump's first term, he always had people in his administration and in Congress constantly cutting at him, constantly attacking him. He couldn't fire his staff fast enough. Leaks constantly. Remember, every single day in the first term, leaks. This term, you don't really hear that hardly. There's a little bit here and there, but barely. And every single member of Trump's administration, without exception, has been on message. And on top of that, all the Republican congressmen on message, even Lindsey Graham on message. This has been absolute fire for the first 6 weeks of his term. This speech, I was going to say, is going to be every time I see Sebastian Gorka, it makes me angry. But besides Sebastian Gorka, this is going to be an awesome speech, and I can't wait to see it. And someone just texted me while I'm on air, and I need to either mute my phone or I got to mute my phone. That's all there is to that. Oh well. Anyway, sorry for that, guys. I'm gonna look at my phone. I'll mute it once the actual thing starts, and it's got to be starting soon. Look at these people standing up as a sign of respect for the president. So much unlike Zelensky the other day. Look at that. I wonder. I think Mike Johnson might actually, use the proper honorifics for Trump that Nancy Pelosi didn't. I still can't get over the fact that the media gave the Democrats a pass at especially Pelosi, disgracing the institution of the House at the last State of the Union 5 years ago. The tearing up of those notes. And the other thing she did not say, it's my distinct honor and my high honor and great privilege to introduce the President of the United States. She didn't even do that. Unreal. Uncle Grizz on Rumble says, it would be nice to see those thwarting executive orders arrested. We may see something dramatic tonight. Well, we won't be seeing arrests. I don't think we will be seeing anything that dramatic. I'll be content for them to be saying things dramatic, not so much seeing things dramatic. Seeing things dramatic might be a bad thing, actually. Let's let Pam Bondi go about her work. I think she's, give her a little bit of time. I mean, if a year and a half goes by and nobody's been indicted, I'll be a little worried. But, I think there's more than enough skeletons and more than enough Democrat lawmakers' closets to be dug up. And I think, unlike Bill Barr, Pam Bondi might actually go looking. She might actually act on some tips. Will Grizz's Pelosi is a child. Yeah. Very, very old, very ugly child. Mike 12 on Rumble says Israel met with the entire cabinet this week and gave them their marching orders. Pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think so, Mike. He says babies have rights too. Also, well, yes, the babies do have rights, or they should. They don't in Michigan. They don't have rights in Michigan, but in some states they do. And speaking, to that point, Trump hasn't done enough pro-life stuff. If you ask me, the Roe v. Wade repeal was great, although he didn't directly do it. He appointed some justices who ended up doing it, but he could have found better ones to do it too. But going back to your previous point, Mike, I don't think, and I know this is a constant point of contention that people talk about all the time. I understand the Israel lobby is very powerful in Washington, and I know Miriam Adelson gave Trump a lot of money, but they did not want that ceasefire. And I believe Trump is genuinely interested in peace. He is going to continue to put the screws on all parties, whether in Ukraine or in Israel, to prevent ongoing violence. Trump really, really wants to put an end to the violence in the Middle East. And we'll see. I don't know that he's got that all figured out yet. But I do know this. He does not like Netanyahu. And they put on a good show when they put on a good show when they need to. But hold on, what's going on here? Let's unmute this and see here.
There was literally nothing wrong.
Now, is this all right? Now we have, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Okay, I think Jalen Rod's going to shut up now. Let's see. Let's switch back to Fox News too. Let's see.
I mean, what a triumphant moment for Donald Trump.
No kidding. Man.
Yeah, Fox News looks pretty much the same. I'm still hearing. Okay, now I got the audio out of my headphones, and here we go.
Are ready for the Sergeant at Arms, William McFarland, to announce the president.
And the other one's a little farther ahead. But they're still talking and barely loud. Talk to them. Mr. Dickerson says we should all be asking a pro-life person to do something in parenthood. Yeah. He's just in the foreground. I don't recognize him. Let's go to the House Sergeant at Arms. That's probably who that is. Well, he walks in with police and soon. They've been talking budget. And his son caught in the background. I was talking to him about consuming public Colby. I forget which one of that one is behind Chief Police. Help me out, Cat. That's John Barrasso over Trump's right shoulder. He would have been probably spiritually better had he been the Senate Majority Leader. Nancy King, fully agree. Hope we get some good candidates. Let's see. Listen, Tanya. Michael Orr, are we going to see the Dems waving foam thing? It'll be, I mean, it's already been almost that comical to begin with. Maybe that guy's not Sebastian Gorka. Now that I saw him close up, he doesn't really look all that much like him. I think it's not Sebastian Gorka. I apologize, guys, for freaking out earlier. It's somebody else. There's Schumer. Oh, Patty. Hey, Patty. How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So I think
The president making his way down the center aisle and you see him shaking the hands of the Chief Justice, John Roberts. Significant there as he passes by Brett Kavanaugh and the other Elena Kagan and the other members of the Supreme Court.
For almost,
going down that aisle, we remember all of the people who used to pack into that aisle, including the late Sheila Jackson.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Adam.
There are some
let me mute the Fox
people that just
for now.
this is their moment to shake the hand of the president.
Sorry, they're gonna yammer over this thing too. So I gotta.
Oh, there's Amy Coney Barrett. I hope he tells her vote better.
Yeah, because Article 3 says something about being a judge and good behavior. Congress should still remove you.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Oh, that'd be great. Start with the lower courts and work your way up to the Supreme Court. Do the lower courts first.
Yeah, get all
then Pam Bondi. Then the indictments from Pam Bondi start coming for the Democrats in the state in the U.S. Senate. Then you get the supermajority in the Senate. Then you straighten out the Supreme Court. That's the process.
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we can dream.
Who's that with that fake and baked tan?
I think there's Marjorie Taylor Greene with the MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's MTG.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. She didn't get the memo about decorum. Trump cares a lot about decorum recently.
Yeah. All right.
I think I'm probably unmute it now.
To give the speech, shaking the hands of the Vice President and the Speaker. Let's listen in to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, his first joint address in this term, his second overall, and his fifth as President of the United States.
Oh, yeah, that was the cold open. Yeah. Time to have a change. We're back. We're back.
Huh?
We're still back. Biden's gone, forgotten. No more Kamala.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's not Sebastian Gorka, folks. I was mistaken. I'm sorry. Patty, isn't the guy who left the rostrum or left look like Sebastian Gorka?
I don't know. You sound very kind of warbled. I'm sorry.
Isn't that Walsh? Isn't that Walsh?
Oh yeah, Ben Shapiro, Riley Gaines. Yep.
Yeah, we have Ben Shapiro there too.
Thank you very much.
Ben
Thank you
Shapiro
very
there
much.
too.
It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
The way the Women's Fashion magazine snub her is just disgusting.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yeah. I should have said, the adults are back in the room.
Yeah, they
The
love
adults
to
are in
do
charge again.
that. Yeah. Look at the Democrats. It must be so hard to be so miserable all the time.
Well, because they are.
They're just miserable.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Okay, let's get some of this protocol law. Oh, there's Elon.
Yep. Just appropriately, no dark MAGA tonight.
No, he actually wore a suit. He can't not wear a suit now after
I
he called out
return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
I wasn't
The
rolling my eyes. I was looking
presidential
around.
election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
Rub it in. Rub it in.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
No, there's a disruptor. Sergeant, escort him out of here. Who's that guy? I can't remember his name for some reason. He was like Abe something.
Why did they boo him?
He's interrupting.
And won
No, but why
counties
did-
in our country.
Oh, just some gibberish.
2,700 to 525.
Yeah, that's the
With a
signal.
map that reads
Get him out of
almost
here.
completely red for Republican.
Put him in handcuffs. Perp walk him out of there.
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an
Has it ever been this
astonishing
rude?
record. 27-point swing, the most ever.
This is a 27-point swing.
Where?
All right, Tom Homan. Land on the law.
Likewise,
Did you see Newt back there?
small business
Yeah.
optimism saw
I knew
its
that.
single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Yeah, keep reciting accomplishments while they lead the Democrats out one by
Members
one.
are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Pick him out. Pick him out.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. This is what I came for. If they resist, put them in handcuffs. Do it.
Mr. Green, take your seat.
Imagine that look.
Take your seat, sir.
Do it.
Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Oh, here we go. Is he a congressman?
Yeah, he's a congressman. I forget who he is.
Oh,
Help me out, Chad. Who is that guy? Grab him and toss him out of there.
that's not going to look good.
I don't care. It looked great to me.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Thank you. God, thank you.
Uncle Grizz on Rumble says, now cool in itself for 24 hours.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly
this is
will not
wonderful.
cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what.
This is brilliant.
Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Look at their stupid signs. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, they're seething. They're coping and seething. And it's great. Vance is cracking up laughing.
So Democrats sitting before me,
I love him, man. Oh.
for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
No, look at her. She's gonna break that umbrella. Or is that a cane? I can't even tell. Yeah, she's doing the lips are trembling.
Yeah. He's got that, you know.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
You see the story, DPW said to ban the Chevy Bolts because they're like not safe for having those parking garages.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
There'll be a lot of standing ovations tonight.
Government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me.
Like me.
How did that work out? Not too good.
Nice. Rub it in. Oh yeah, those little.
I've stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
What did they put the false signs up for?
What?
Those signs said false.
Oh
And
yeah.
2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Yeah. Another overwhelmingly popular thing the Democrats hate.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's kind of silly, but yeah.
That's what makes it so great.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
Here it comes. Oh,
And our
that's great.
country will be woke no longer.
Look at this pointing at Elon Omar right there.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
I mean, it's affirmative action. It's illegal.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What was the vote on that?
I think it's a break. It's a
We
common
have
sense
removed
obvious.
the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Yes. Yep. This is a position Republicans would keep kicking to take like 2 years ago.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years
Ryland
ago,
Gaines.
Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Next to Lisa Vance, too.
Are the Dems not cheering for that either?
Oh, no. They love men beating women up.
I know, they do. They hate women. It's National Women's Month. I saw Benson, everyone's like posting about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a
And
woman?
if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Their dentures are like
The
falling
both
out, I
acted
think.
rupturing, yeah. You're going to break your teeth.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
I hope not.
Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Oh, no.
The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
Which one is that? Is that the Treasury? Resist.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
How big is the bag of lemon Pelosi is chewing on?
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Rare earth. Interesting. I'll go to Ukraine for them. You have them right here.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. Go! Perhaps you've heard of it. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Pocahontas.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I
believe. Rub it in.
They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
This is amazing.
This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
What's on the other side of false? True?
True, yeah.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly.
I don't know any of that.
3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people
from
ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159 and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
That was awesome.
He feels so. I feel like there's Kelly Loeffler behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Does he feel awkward? Do you think?
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
Someone shouted something out.
But we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
I'm sure some of those are typos, but who cares? They're bureaucrats. Their whole job is to make sure there's not those typos. That list is like their job description.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
And just cross.
Oh, that's the guy from Cantor Fitzgerald. He's at Commerce. He was the former.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration,
I love it every time he
open
does
border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country. We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
How is flocking to answer any of this? This is a common sense solution.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. and the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
That's Fauci.
Hey, James Clyburn, how'd you like that pick of yours, Joe Biden? How'd that work out for you?
Mike Johnson.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
I thought they were a little false.
A stupid little sign.
We're not going to vote for the tax cuts. That's false.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board, and to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation. I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
I think the Democrats made themselves look even smaller by several of them not showing up and being escorted out.
Yeah, well, they'll spin it, but of course.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
The Cedar sign didn't make any sense. You know that? We're talking about cutting taxes.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it?
Yeah, well, plants don't just
that,
open
along with our other policies, will
allow
our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
Rub it in. Rub it in.
In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term.
Better than the 90s? I don't know.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
They're
Over the
nervous.
last 3 months about Mexico and Canada. But we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Dang.
I mean, this chip thing has been going on for 5 years since COVID, and we still don't have chip plants here.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
I remember Swanson campaigning on how great the CHIPS Act was. I remember.
Who did?
Swanson did.
Oh. The blueberry?
Yeah.
A new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in. And they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers starting on April 2nd. It may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases. And I said, just bear with me. And they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again. And this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases. And we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it. And it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. Wow. So great, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Sit next to Melania's dad.
Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
She's like, I do?
Yeah.
I don't.
Probably surprised.
That was a weird face today.
Yeah.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much.
It is done.
Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody.
Nice.
That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world.
That's like
Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year.
Oh boy, this is fun. It's immigration
A
section.
brilliant
What if you're wearing a
22-year-old
full suit and she's
nursing
got words
student
all over
named
it?
Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border
That's her mom.
and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
They can't even stand for that.
No, they can't.
They're just disgusting people.
They really are.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
I got some done. Scott Payne and Peter voted for it, I think.
It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
They're doing that too.
I guess so.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
In your face.
Oh, that lady with the purple hair.
Lauro.
Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
I love his signature.
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
We have a Democrat who said he's going to continue to speak lies to his truth. Let's click it on X.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash. They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
And the Democrats popping off at Trump, are we talking about police and fire? What a murmuring a moment ago.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
Democrats are hitting every minute of this. It's glorious.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
Really good time that would have bothered me, but not so much anymore.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
Oh, the Democrats have just disgraced themselves.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
That's cute.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
The Democrats walked right into this one.
Yeah. Oh, lots of it. Oh, Debbie, you see Jingle?
Yeah.
She rolled her eyes. We have to screen capture that.
She rolled her eyes?
Jingle did. I'm pretty sure.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer actually a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, that's special.
You painted the Democrats booing and sneering and staring.
No.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Hey, Bobby.
No, Susie Wiles.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Are they not throwing out every Democrat that has this outburst?
I don't know, but I want to.
Good.
I got to find the report later to find out what they actually said. I can't tell what they're saying.
My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
We went on Twitter, one of them.
Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Yeah.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Yes.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Yep.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better?
It's like the huge weight is lifted.
Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
Okay, one of them smiled. They're not supposed to, but he is. So that's, that's.
Yeah, well, you know.
And it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing. And thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
I think this is going to be the longest State of the Union ever, too.
It's going to be like his inauguration speech.
Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets. Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
The Golden Buffalo on
Funny.
Paul Road in Macomb.
You don't need one, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Okay.
And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Okay.
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal
What are the
was built
canals?
by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal.
Wow.
They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die.
Ugh.
The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Well, let's see. He's not comfortable with that.
Yeah, well.
Wait, that was
We
great.
have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong.
Uh-oh.
Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes.
It might be.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes, and I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
He's doing a good job so far. What did you
He's
say
doing
on
a
that?
great job. Great job.
You have to be glad, Patty. I'm having trouble hearing you sometimes.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity. And he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Who's he pointing at? Democrats are panicking now. What's he talking about? Who's he talking about?
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown. That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
There's Woodcock. We'll be talking about Ukraine coming up very soon.
You don't have the card.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Is that the Giants talking?
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Just nailed him. Just nailed him. The Democrats applaud for mass murder. Mass murder is what you applaud.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Oh, look at Kai.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, unless you've got Ukrainian blood.
Wouldn't that be so proud. He has more about Ukraine than them.
It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end the senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
It's amazing for 95.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I can't even stand for that. Okay.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it?
Wow.
Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Did the Democrats stand up for them?
I don't know.
The cameras won't tell us.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you.
How tall is Judy? How short is my tongue?
Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Elon loves Mars.
Democrats are fleeing now.
The what?
Democrats are fleeing now.
Through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
There you go.
Well, there you have it. The State of the Union address.
All right. There you go.
Awesome.
That was.
We're not going to watch Slotkin, are we?
No, although, I'll tell you what, I did just happened to run across this post by Heather Dow today. Oh, Blueberry.
Oh
that was a Trump rally speech. That was Trump.
It was better. I mean, he was very.
It was better.
He was on. He didn't go too far off the.
Yeah, but I remember his. I think all of the State of the Union speeches in his first term were surprisingly sober. They were uncharacteristically presidential of him, you might say, in the traditional sense, I guess. This was a Trump rally speech. And I loved every minute of it. Even the bits that I know are just rhetoric because it's what he does. Mm-hmm. But man, it was this was an evening for liberal tears right here. This was awesome. The bitterness and seething and hatred was just.
Oh my God, it's so good. I mean, he was getting his digs in. I mean, he was just it was like your dad.
Pointing. Yep.
Yeah, he was just not even looking at him, and he's just shut up.
AOC made the right call just not showing up because the rest of them, they were forced to attend a Trump rally. That's what it was.
Oh, AOC didn't go? No,
she didn't show up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. But no, they supremely beclowned themselves. Rand made a tweet during the speech when the Democrats were booing and outbursting at Trump saying we're going to get to the bottom of the autism outbreak with Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah, they want to keep autism 1 in 36. Okay.
Yeah, he made some kind of that was beneath even the worst case of TDS. But then they outed themselves again when Trump is talking about how great police are, and the Democrats start booing that, and then Trump goes to the young cancer survivor. That was so perfect. That was just brilliant.
Yeah, that was
so good.
Led them right into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is going to be one of those moments. There's a lot of them in the first Trump campaign, and then the media started to figure it out. When Trump makes a move that gets the other side so freaked out that they end up amplifying it by their reaction. I guess the famous example is the Megyn Kelly thing in the debate with the blood coming out or whatever. And just the way that he did that, the media was so hysterical about that it actually made it work more by amplifying, because what Trump was doing in that debate was, trying to get out in front of the field. This is that same thing. The media is going to freak out. They're going to play all these clips of the State of the Union address, thinking this is going to make the American people hate Trump.
Right.
They're just going to like it. They're just going to enjoy it. They're going to love it.
Yeah. Well, it's like you taught us in campaign school. Don't repeat their negative message about you or whatever. They're just amplifying.
Yeah, they're going to just amplify the attack.
Yep.
And because they're seeing a different movie than everybody else in America is. So there was really there's no new anything policy wise. I guess the only big announcement was that they apprehended a terrorist who was involved. I guess the mastermind of the attack on the Afghanistan base, which
okay.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the stuff about Zelensky, nothing new there. They said Zelensky today says he's ready to come to the table. That's bullshit. Everybody knows it. Zelensky's a liar. So that's what he proved. Trump knows this too. But
I hope he knows it. That's all. Yeah.
Oh, he definitely knows it. It's just this will work for tonight. Is what it was. Mm-hmm. And then when Zelensky pulls the same stunt over again, it's just gonna be the end of it. I guarantee you. There's not going to be any Russia-Ukraine peace deal anywhere in the near future. But what's going to happen is Zelensky and the Europeans are literally letting themselves take the fall for it. Because if they didn't, Russia has said, we're not going to negotiate on the 4 territories. We're not going to have a ceasefire. There's going to be capitulation, or we're going to have a peace deal on our terms, which are going to be at minimum Istanbul plus, which Zelensky already ruled out. So Zelensky is going to be the one that says no. That's what's going to happen. The Russians are going to say, we've never ruled out negotiations. The Ukrainians are the ones that have a decree saying you can't negotiate with us. That's not going to change. So, yeah. So Trump won the night, but in the long run, he's going to win too, because it's going to be. And the Europeans have given him the grounds to say, oh, well, you're the ones who want to defend Ukraine so badly, so it's your baby now. Yeah, here you go.
Here you go.
He has to walk away from it. So yeah. But anyway, all that stuff aside, like this was just pure.
It was great.
Comedy gold. It was so good. I do apologize. You were saying some things I couldn't hear over, and it's just my microphone and the stream.
That's okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear you either when they were speaking, but it's okay.
But yeah, Trump was the star of the show anyhow. And man, oh man. And I mean, the digs he really got in, the things he really slammed on hard were the border, immigration, law and order, and radical transgenderism. And the Democrats just walked right into it. Every single one of them. Every single one. It was hilarious. So
yeah,
I almost want to see how Slokin handles this, but I don't. We can maybe laugh at it on the Sunday stream or something. But
yeah, I can't watch her.
No, it'll be too agonizing. The way you gotta watch it, I'll show
very
you.
Punchki.
Yeah. What you gotta do is, remember on Sunday stream I was saying I thought I'd heard something about Whitmer's State of the State address. I actually hadn't. What I'd seen was just this, which is the Journal, and yeah, this is Whitmer's State of the State speech, which I kind of glanced over as I was reading the Journal to pull the bill reports for the week. That's her State of the State address, which is about how it looked. I'm sure this is exactly what it looked like to have watched it.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Looking at that, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
In between all her coughing. Do you remember she was having the coughing attacks? Just like, remember Hillary and the one.
I missed that. I heard about that. You were telling me, or who was Matt Wilk was saying this night that she was having these coughing fits or something.
She was coughing a lot. Yeah. And then it was reminded me of Hillary when Hillary kept coughing. Was that during a debate one time? Do you remember with Hillary? Anyway.
I don't remember.
But I was like, oh, yeah.
I apologize. Maybe that was you that brought that up tonight.
It might have been Kelly Powell. It was somebody, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was their throat chakra, like couldn't get past all the lies.
Yeah.
So it was coughing it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. This is, I mean, I'm just kind of glancing at this now. It's so pathetic and sad.
Yeah. And then,
to my friends in the GOP, a long-term fix means new, fair sources of revenue.
that's fancy for taxes? Like, what does that mean? Fair sources?
Yeah, that means taxes. That means taxing the rich. That's what that means.
Fair sources. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Taxing the investment class. Whatever. Anyway, that was pretty freaking awesome. I'll read a couple of chats, and if you guys have any things more you want to add, I'll read those before we sign off. But I mean, it's been a long stream. I'm about ready to go to bed.
The speech was about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. It was great.
2 hours. It was just under 2 hours.
Well, he started at 9:20.
9:20. Okay, well, more than an hour and a half then.
Yeah, hour and 40, I think. Yeah, it was great.
I wish we.
And it was so great. And he's just like talking, and then he just like turns to the right and looks at him. Like,
yeah, the pointing, what these people did.
It was the side point like this,
Absolutely brutal to Joe Biden, to Kamala, all those little digs.
Oh, how about when they were clapping about Ukraine, and then he goes, "You want to continue?"
Yeah, let's clap for 5 more minutes for the death and destruction. That's what the Democrats did. That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
That was the Democrats couldn't applaud, fallen police officers, but they'll applaud murdered Ukrainian men, young men.
1.5 million dead or wounded is the number I keep hearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whenever I'm looking at this, I'm reading the Rumble chats, guys. I wasn't rolling my eyes or anything.
Oh, Debbie Dingle, I got to go back and screenshot that too.
Oh, yeah. So I got a timestamp on it. I wrote it down. I'll go back and look and see if she did roll her eyes. But actually, so a lot of these posts now, or a lot of these comments were time sensitive to whatever they were saying. So I don't know what
it's hard if you don't catch them in the moment. Yeah.
Sailor Sam asks, how much longer will Zelensky be in power? Who knows? The problem with how long Zelensky will be in power is there's no alternative.
Right.
In Ukraine. Like, oh, we can bring in Zaluzhny, the guy who is a neo-Nazi but also a classical Nazi. Oh, that'll be a lot better.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the same thing anyway.
The hybrid.
Yeah. So whatever. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that might just do it for us for tonight.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was such great
I'm glad we
television.
did this.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun watching all of the reactions and all the recaps and everything else tomorrow too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
enjoy.
All right.
We will have some like action items coming up soon in the week, and we'll talk about those probably on the week, well, through the emails and then on
We
Sunday.
should say how great our event was tonight.
It was. You had a full house.
Yeah,
Was
we had
excellent.
about, I think, 80, 85 people maybe.
Great. Yeah, that was excellent. You had to dip out early because I had to come here to get ready.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, it was fantastic. So thank you to everyone who came, and it sounds like they're really organized, and
Yep.
let's get it done.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like they really actually do have they have done the necessary work to run a ballot initiative. So there you go. We'll see.
Yep, it was great.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching with us. It was a lot of fun. I just happened to look on X. We had like hundreds of people watching on X that don't even count into my main total. So we had like a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is like I think our biggest live stream we've had like ever. So yeah.
Okay, very good.
Fun. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Good night.
Thanks for all you guys do for Liberty. And until next time.
Like and share.
I always forget. I mean, I have it. I'm so lazy. I have it on the screen that it shows up, but it's not as good. So yeah, if you like this content, support the channel, hit the like button, hit the share button, and blah 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 blah. All right. Good night, guys. See ya.